No, I wouldn't. Hey. Very well, sir. Good, 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 good. I mean, I'm glad I'm stepping down. Rotarians and guests, welcome to my favorite Rotary Club in the whole wide world, the Rotary Club of York, for what has been one of our best years ever. Our mission is to improve life in the city of York by connecting our club's diverse community leaders through fellowship, action, and service. I am your club president, at least for one last day, Aaron Jacobs, and it is a great day to be a Rotarian. Thank you. And not just because it's my last day at the podium, but because we gather together to live out service above self, and because we follow our four-way test. And that is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Hearing everyone recite the four-way test this year has been music to my ears. And I want to say thank you one more time for helping to put this back into the bedrock of our weekly programs. But speaking of music to my ears, Brittany Reese will lead us in God Bless America and the Pledge of Allegiance. Our invocation will be delivered by past President Jackie Summers, and our guest will be introduced by Lori Broadbeck. Brittany.
If you'll please join me. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon. Would you please join me in a word of prayer? Gracious God, we give you thanks for this day and for the opportunity to gather in fellowship. Thank you for the friendships we've formed, for the service we've rendered, and for the impact we've made in our community and in the world. We're grateful for the partnership we've created with our friends in Ethiopia. We lift up our team who will be leaving soon for Sandafa. We pray for safe travel and for the successful completion of the project there. We thank you for President Aaron and those who served on the leadership team. We lift up the achievements of this past year, made possible through dedication and commitment. We stayed true to the four-way test and remained focused on service above self. Please guide incoming President Courtney Piccolo and the new members of the leadership team. Inspire their actions and guide their steps as they implement strategic goals and carry out our vision. Bless this food to the nourishment of our bodies and those who have prepared and served it. We commend this time to you in honor and praise, and thank you for your presence that remains with us today and always. Amen.
Hello. I am pleased to have the honor of introducing our guests for today's meeting. When I call your name, please stand if you are able and remain standing until President Aaron has welcomed you. First, visiting Rotarians, we have Paul Thompson, who is a district governor-elect, Kathleen Stoop from Carlisle, and Vaughn Kraus from Uptown. Guests today, guests of Sam Willman are Catherine Willman and Elaine Willman. Guests of President Aaron Jacobs are Abby Jacobs, Max Jacobs, Samantha Jacobs, and Carl Jacobs. It's the Jacobs table over here. Guest of past President Rob Bowen is Aziza Klein. And that's it for today. Turn it back over to President. Thank you.
Yes, you've picked a great day to visit a great club, but frankly, any Wednesday is a great day to visit our club because we have the best lunches, the most outstanding programs, all while being in the company of the finest community leaders that York has to offer. But we would not be a great club if we didn't have outstanding guests such as yourselves in our pipeline to become members. And it's not just about being a Rotarian, it's about being part of a movement that makes a difference in the lives of others. And if you feel that in your heart, let's talk about having you as a member of our club. And it's not beyond me to poach members from the Uptown Club or our district governor if I must. So I'm going to give you the membership math one last time. If this is your first visit, welcome. If it's your second visit, welcome back. And if it's your third visit, let's talk about making you a member. Samantha and Maxwell Jacobs, I think this is visit number 3 for you. Lynn, get them an application. Rotarians, help me welcome our guests today. We've got announcements. So we have some infirmed Rotarians who would appreciate your prayers and kind thoughts and well wishes. Past President Al Sykes, who I see back there with cane in hand, is recovering from his long-awaited hip surgery. And also Bill Hartman, who we learned this week is recovering from a neck injury, but is doing okay. Please reach out to them and share some kind words. Speaking of good thoughts, I think I hear wedding bells. Congratulations to Chris Topp and Heather Warner on their engagement. Chris, I don't think you quite understood what it meant to be the chairperson of the membership engagement committee, but you're close. You are. Nonetheless, it's beautiful when two Rotarians fall in love. And I also heard that if you show up to Chris's wedding, invited or otherwise, we will give you makeup credits for that. So please crash it if you must. Today is also the deadline to register for the July 2nd Revs versus the Stormers ball game. This is the game where we're hosting our friends from Lancaster with food, fellowship, and baseball. The tickets are $50, which includes the game and a donation to Polio Plus. Kids are only $12, so please come out to support your home team, your home club, and enjoy fellowship and make new friends with other Rotarians. Please let Lynn or past President Al know if you are interested. Speaking of opportunities outside the club to have a good time, there will be a member networking event on Friday, July 12th at noon at Ophelia's Making Agency at 251 West Market Street in the Weko District in York City. This will include a tour of Ophelia's 3 facilities to observe artists working and learning about opportunities they have with Rotarian Ophelia Chambliss as their mentor. I have done this tour as a private invitation from Ophelia. It is very much worth it. I highly encourage everybody to come to this event. And bonus, lunch is served, no cost to you. But we do ask you that you RSVP to past President Rob Bowen if you would like to attend. Now the announcements are done. We've got another round of a large amount of Paul Harris Fellows to recognize, and I'd like to invite John Eister to the podium for that part of our program. John.
I'm going to miss Aaron's shameless plugs up here. I'll tell you. I couldn't remember Bill's rule for a tie, so I thought I'd put one on in his honor today. But I think he usually wears it when he's up here. So he's obviously recovering from a neck injury. So as Aaron said, he's doing well. Could have been a whole lot worse. But I'm proud to be filling in for him today and finish out the Rotary year by recognizing 17 members for their Paul Harris achievements. I'd like to welcome District Governor-elect Paul Thompson and Kathleen Stroop to come up to help distribute the materials. And then at this time, anyone that's going to be recognized and is here today, could you please come up and stand with them? And then when I announce your name, just step forward and they will present you with your Paul Harris pin and certificate of recognition. And Rotarians, if you could just please hold your applause until all have been recognized. And then please remain at the front. Don't drift away on me. And we'll be recognized at the end. All right. I think it almost rivals the group we had some time ago. So, and Aaron, of course, will be helping with the awards too. So without further ado, if you want to, first award would go to Catherine Willman, honored by Sam Willman. Lauren Thornton, honored by Jan Walgamuth and accepted on her behalf by Jan Walgamuth. Dave Christensen will accept on his behalf, could not be here today. I guess on behalf of myself, thank you, John Eister. Somehow they threw my name in here. So Brian Funkhauser, PHF +1. Mike Osherman, PHF +1. Larry Miller, PHF +1. That Larry could not be here, so we'll accept on his behalf. Laura Bankos Curry, PHF +2. She was not able to attend either. Glenn Smith, Paul Harris Fellow +3. Frank Countess, Paul Harris Fellow +4. Tom Donnelly, PHF +4. Past President Dan Waltersdorf, PHF +4. We'll accept on his behalf. He could not be here today. Past President John Kleindenst, PHF +6. Andy Rowitz, PHF +6. Bob Borden, Paul Harris Fellow +7. Ashley Etzweiler, PHF +8. Ashley couldn't be here today. We'll accept on her behalf. And finally, past President Mike Summers, Paul Harris Fellow +8. Well, while they're taking the photo, folks, a round of applause for everyone. Thank you.
I'm so pleased that we could fit a few more outstanding true Rotarians in this year with Paul Harris Fellows Awards. Our club has been a leader like none other in this effort, but more importantly, it is helping our impact to be felt all over the world. Thank you again for your contributions and keep up the good work. And now we're getting into the changing of the guard part of our program. And we will start by acknowledging the outgoing officers. Joan Mummert is graduating out of our board of directors. And to Joan, I say thank you for your time, your talent, and commitment to our board. Doug, you're kind of in a weird gray area of succession, but thank you for keeping a keen eye on our club's fiscal situation and for doing such a great job and being great to work with. And congratulations on your ascension to the presidency. And past President Glenn Miller, give a big wave over there, if you will. Thank you for your service, your dedication, and leadership to the Rotary Club of York. Your term is now considered served in full, and may you enjoy all the benefits of being a past president now and ever after. Let's give this group a round of applause. And now for the installation of the 24-25 officers and directors. Wildareem Alessi, please stand. Doug Berman, please stand. And BJ Fegley, please stand. Do you accept and understand the charges of the office to which you are elected and will work with diligence to the betterment of the club? If so, answer, I do. I hereby declare you installed as officers of the Rotary Club of York for the Rotary year 2024-2025. Ladies and gentlemen, your officers. Now, customarily, the new president is installed at this meeting along with the other officers, but unfortunately, President-elect Courtney is out of the country but she's on Zoom. Everybody say hi to Courtney. Hi, Courtney. We will officially install Courtney as president for the 24-25 year at our next meeting on July 10th. So please come to that. We do have a new director to install. Eric Chase, would you please stand? Eric, do you solemnly pledge to fulfill the duties as a director to the best of your ability, to advance the purposes of Rotary, and to abide by the Rotary motto of service above self? If so, answer, I do. Eric, I hereby declare you installed as a director of the Rotary Club of York. Congratulations. We also would like to recognize those board of directors who continue to serve in the upcoming year. That would be Dee Baker, Elaine Bonneau, Kelly Gibson, Bill Hartman, Jen May, Jules Tolbert, and Calvin Weary. And now I'd like to share my remarks for the changing of the guard. I need my glasses for this one. Buckle up. So if you would put in a slide here, Ella. Before I do begin this, I want to let you know that the slideshow is independent of my speech. So don't freak out if the words that I say don't match up with these pictures. I do this because in the event that you find my speech boring, you can always watch the pictures and have fun. Rotarians and guests, it is a great day to be a Rotarian. That's something I have enjoyed saying every week because it was something that I always felt in my heart, especially over the past year. It's difficult to describe what the experience is like to be president of the Rotary Club of York because it's not like anything I've ever done before. On the one hand, you have to be the club leader in all matters, great and small, but you're also the weekly master of ceremonies, which was the part I liked the best. I'm sure that was quite evident to everyone, and I'm sure there are more than a few of you who thought this year was a little different than previous years. As far as I'm concerned, this was the best year ever. But let me give you a little background of what instigated so much of what we've done this year. So I remember when I went to the Rotary Pets, that's the President-elect Training Summit, in the winter of 2023, and one of our keynote speakers gave what she felt would be the best advice or theme for each of the president-elects as they prepared to embark upon their year. That advice was, and I quote, DFU. The D stands for don't. I will let you imagine what the F and U stand for. True story. Now, I was a bit shocked by this statement, not by its intended comic vulgarness, but rather its implied lack of ambition. DFU, not me. I knew at that moment that if I decided to be the president of the Rotary Club of York, I want to be a Mount Rushmore president, not a DFU president. And that challenge was accepted even if none was explicitly made. And if that was going to happen, I knew that myself and our club's leadership would have to be bold and take on the challenge of change, innovation, and passion to demonstrate impactful results. Now, I've never been known as someone who is a modest or someone who's too humble to boast. And I am proud to declare this the best year ever. And I mean that for both myself and our Rotary Club. And although this is a self-proclamation, let's take a look at what we've done and the results we have enjoyed. We created the Mentor Program that is members engaging the new talent of Rotary to help welcome and onboard new members to our club. And since then, our resignations at this club have decreased by 25%. We created the Level Up Program to invite new members to our club to help offset the cost of membership while discovering new diverse leaders in our community. And so far, we've already brought on 2 new members, and we expect many more to come. We began the President's Challenge to help give all our committees a new voice in our club, to find new members and create new impactful opportunities. We continue to move forward the Sandafa Project, which was our first international project since COVID. And as you all know, we had a wildly successful club project with a planting in Continental Square to help enhance our city while making our club and the 4-way test prominent to all who visit downtown. And as proud as I was of our Kiwanis Lake project, I am ever so impressed by the amount of visibility and press that we enjoyed with this year's project. We introduced and implemented our new club mission, our vision, and strategic plan to streamline our processes, enhance our committees, and provide the opportunity for our club to have the highest impact in York City. We've created the Service Projects Development Committee as a community impact incubator to make certain that our club always has a strong pipeline for service opportunities in accordance with that mission, vision, and strategic plan. We're able to support future incoming club presidents by having our club sponsor their trip to Rotary International, as President-elect Courtney enjoyed last month, and what I expect will be the precedent for our club to send all president-elects to Rotary International so we become connected with that mission and support it. Speaking of club presidents, we recognize all of our club past presidents with a luncheon this year, and I also expect that to be the new tradition of our club to honor the wisdom and service of its prior leaders, that we are always connected to our club history. Last but not least, Borden, this one's for you. We relocated the head table, reintroduced the 4-way test back into our weekly program, and added the roaming wireless microphone to end once and for all the infamous phrase, Can you repeat the question from our Rotary vernacular? Can I get an amen? Good. Follow the applause. Bob Borden said it couldn't be done. But effort means little without results. So let's talk about the numbers. New members have increased by 29%. As I mentioned, our decrease has been by 25%. These two statistics combined means that we had our best year of membership growth. This is not only the highest year growth in our club's history for at least 20 years or more, but also the highest volume growth in the entire district. Or to quote District Governor-elect Paul Thompson, your club brought on more new members this year than what some other clubs have in total members. But the real question that you're asking is, where did we end up with membership this year? Well, I will say that this month, our board of directors approved 5 new members. They will be inducted in July. So as of today, the Rotary Club of York is again a 300-member club. Congratulations, we did it. But hold on. That also means we're only one resignation away from not being in the 300-member club. So we must continue to push the same way we did this year's to keep our numbers strong. But I know we can and we will do it. And with all this in mind, it is a great year to be a Rotarian. Let's talk about attendance. Thanks to the high energy and great programs of our club, our weekly program attendance has been at an all-time high. And not just for members, but for guests as well. Many of our programs were often attended with a filled ballroom of engaged Rotarians. Again, this is a great year to be a Rotarian. And now I can talk about Paul Harris Fellows. And I have to amend my speech based on what we did today. Our new Step Up program brought the highest level of contributions to the Rotary Foundation in our club's history, as well as the history of the district, as in one time, we awarded an unprecedented 47 new Paul Harris Society Awards in one day alone. And frankly, doing 17 in one day is probably second place as far as I can remember. Not to mention the Rare Arch Clump Society Award as well. Without the 17, we were already at a 29% increase in honors and a 25% increase in giving. Indeed, it is a great year to be a Rotarian, and that's something you need to applaud. Let's talk about fundraising. Love for Community had a strong 17% increase in net proceeds. And this has been one of the highest and perhaps the highest year in our club's fundraising as we work together to support the Continental Square project. I am truly thankful for this. And again, it is a great year to be a Rotarian. Our York Rotary Grants program was able to award 29% more gifts this year, while we awarded over $40,000 in scholarships. It is certainly a great year to be a Rotarian. Now, anyone who works with me or knows me knows that I'm very passionate and results driven. And although there are times where I thought, we could have done more, I am nonetheless satisfied with what has been accomplished. But results mean very little without the memories. And I think of so many fun moments during the year for me, including the trips to Large Club Conference in Cincinnati and San Jose with Courtney and Lynn. The Love for Community fundraiser, where my team won second place and I only contributed 2 shots to the score. We had so many great programs, such as Greg from Flying Feet, Julie from Flinchball Orchards, Phil and his Pretzels, the Popcorn Lofts, Mark and Val Wines, Search and Rescue Summit sniffing out Sarah White's feet. And frankly, there are just too many programs to name, but those are the ones that certainly made me smile or at least brought food. I enjoyed being able to present our membership strategies at the District Learning Conference. It was a privilege to have the fellowship of the past president over lunch to feel the majesty and legacy in one room. planting nearly 50 trees with our Preserve Planet Earth Committee, throwing out the ceremonial first pitch at York City Little League among the hundreds of York City youth proudly wearing the Rotary logo on their baseball jerseys, joining the dozens of volunteers and news media in Continental Square to install the plants and new signs for future generations to enjoy, as well as having the privilege to cut the ceremonial ribbon during Give Local York. But most of all, the time I got to spend with each of you. I can certainly say we've gotten to know each other a lot better, as I had the privilege to sit and speak with so many of you to listen to your ideas, your concerns, and occasionally your accolades for the fun we're having this year. It is truly hard to describe how relationships thrive when you're president of the Rotary Club of York. But there's also times when your relationships are tested. So not everything about being president was easy. In fact, occasionally someone will ask me, what is the hardest part about being club president? Doug, Wilda, pay attention. Because here's the answer. It's having to be the one to say no. Several times I've had to remind others as well as myself that as president, I'm the primary steward of our club's mission and resources, and saying no to someone who is genuine and passionate is never easy. But if you keep the four-way test in mind, in my experience, everything will work out for the best, even if we don't always agree and we don't always get what we want. And frankly, I was told no a couple of times myself. I hope and believe that my friendships and relationships with our members remain intact with that in mind, as I have always sought to do the right thing in all matters. With that in mind, I want to recognize several groups of Rotarians that really helped to make this the best year ever for both myself and the club. I'd like to thank everyone who participated in the arduous efforts of creating and implementing the new mission, vision, and strategic plan. This process was provocative, endearing, and invaluable, and I hope our club has become stronger and more impactful thanks to all the hard work that you have done. I'd like to thank all of our committee chairs and their members for creating such a tremendous impact for our club and the community we serve. I would also like to commend them for being able to catch a new vision and embrace change and the challenges that come with that. I would say that you have exceeded my expectations and your willingness to try something new. I'd like to thank our board of directors for leading so thoughtfully this year. One of my favorite aspects about this board was not only the amount of work they did to create change, but their ability to engage robust and well-rounded discussions instead of just rubber stamping every motion that came across the board. Thank you for representing our club so well while following the four-way tests. I'd like to thank our executive committee for such a strong and professional camaraderie. When I say the best year ever, they may likely retort with, what a strange year it has been indeed. Nonetheless, we have been a strong and communicative support group, operating together in harmony, always doing what is best for our club. I will certainly miss our time and our executive luncheons. Of course, I want to thank also our executive director, Lynn Morrison, for doing everything in her power to make this job as easy as possible for me. It's difficult for me to concisely express all that Lynn does for this club and its members. Suffice to say that when I hear the words outstanding true Rotarian, Lynn, you are one of the first people I always think of. I have cherished my personal and professional relationship with you, Lynn, since we first explored Cincinnati together, and I will surely miss our frequent chats. I also want to express my vote of confidence for our incoming president, Courtney Piccolo, who has served her role as president-elect with nothing less than excellence. I can say without flinching that President-elect Courtney will be the hardest working president this Rotary Club has ever seen. Her ability to make herself available, to communicate, and to work well with others, and quite frankly, light up the room with her charm, makes this changing of the guard a lot easier because I know this club will be in good hands. I've enjoyed getting to know you, Courtney. Hello over on Zoom. And I couldn't have picked a better Rotarian to succeed me. Best of luck to Courtney and what I hope will be her best year ever. I also have to thank my family over here, the Jacobs. Shout out. Hey, Samantha, I'm not going to embarrass you. That was the promise I made. Often when I return home from our weekly Rotary meeting, my wife Abby would ask me, "How did it go today?" To which I would reply, "You're not going to believe this, but I did such a good job today." As she's doing now, she would do then. She would roll her eyes and say, "If you say so." But she was always willing to listen and be a good sounding board anytime I needed advice on club matters. I'm sure that she, Maxwell, and Samantha are ready to have our dinner conversations back instead of talking about Rotary all the time. And of course, I want to say thank you to you, our members, for being so engaging and supportive this year. You are the main reason why I look forward to Wednesdays. And for me, you are what truly made this the best year ever. And you always make it a great day to be a Rotarian. At the very least, I'm sure I will be remembered as the four-way test president, as I have been a very outspoken advocate of this mantra. And I hope that this has affected the culture of our club and service in a meaningful and positive way. Now that the four-way test is prominently displayed in Continental Square, I have this peculiar fantasy that someone I have never met, it may be tomorrow, it could be 20 years from now, maybe they're leaving the courtroom, maybe they're leaving a business meeting, maybe they're having a coffee chat with their friends, but they'll be wandering around the square, tussling with a moral quandary and conflicted over what to do. Somewhere in their peripheral vision, their mind will catch a message. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? It would be at that moment when the solution that they are looking for is revealed to them in a moment of clarity, and they have the confidence and motivation to do the right thing, not for their own sake, but for the benefit of all. If the work we did downtown did this at least once, then I am certain this makes this the best year ever. So whether or not I actually achieved being a Mount Rushmore president, I'll leave that to the opinion of the masses and time itself. But if nothing else, I hope to be remembered as a president who led with integrity, passion, and a big heart. So before I wrap up, there remains one unfinished piece of business as far as ending my year is concerned. Despite all of the time that I have enjoyed at the podium this year, and boy, I really liked it, there is one thing that I did not get to do and I wished I would have done. In fact, it is the one thing that got me to the podium in the first place over 15 years ago. It would not be the best year ever if I couldn't end it with a song. There is one particular song that comes to mind. You might agree with me that I think sums up the year for me. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friends, I'll say it clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've served a year that's full, and may I say, in not a shy way, that more, much more than this, I did it my way. Thank you.
It is our tradition each year that the past president presents an award and a pin to our outgoing president and welcomes that person to the illustrious past presidents club. Aaron, first off, our deep thanks to you for your extraordinary leadership this year. You have been a wonderful leader. You have accomplished great things for the club. I'm so glad that we were able to accomplish our primary goal, which was to help you come out of your shell. And clearly we accomplished that in spades. When I was at this podium at this moment a year ago, in the weeks leading up to it, I had two different comments, pieces of advice from other past presidents. One was from Bob Davis, Dr. Davis, who said, "This day will be the worst day of your life because it's your last day as president." Every other past president said, you are about to attain the most coveted title in this club, past president. In my year, I have come to realize both of those things were true. You will absolutely miss being at this podium, and we will miss having you here. But your family probably will enjoy seeing you a little more. Your clients might enjoy seeing more of you and having more of your life back. So take that all into consideration as you look back on a great year and look ahead to continuing to be an outstanding Rotarian, which we know you will be. And so, first is the Past President's Award. You can pull that gavel off of there if you want to and need to pound somebody with it. That's entirely up to you. And the second is the presentation of your past president's pin.
Thank you, Past President Glenn. Thank you, Past President Glenn. Thank you all for the kind words and the gifts. And now I think we can start to wrap things up. I got to find my place of where I'm at. So I get to sign the book platelet for once in the book that we're donating. And this one is extra special to me. Where's John Eister at? John raised his hand. John approached me a few weeks ago and said, you know, my wife wrote a children's book and I'd love to have that as part of a program. And I said, I'd love to give that book on my last day of my presidency. So with that, it's my pleasure to sign the book platelet for the book Little C Finds His Sound by Melody Eister, the wife of Rotarian John Eister. As my last official act as president of the club, this will be donated to Crispus Attucks of York, along with the bookmark made from the students at Creative York. Next week, as a reminder, we are not having a meeting. This is not a false alarm like last week. We are truly not meeting on July 3rd. But our next meeting will be on July 10th, where we officially induct Courtney Piccolo as our president for 2024-25. Our speaker also will be Denise Gilliland of Pink Power. Denise is a breast cancer survivor, founded Pink Power in 2017 to bring women together to raise money and awareness for breast cancer related causes. Rotarians, again, thank you for the best year ever. Have an amazing Rotarian week. This meeting is adjourned.